civilization, humans have stressed the importance of outer appearances.
The ancient Egyptians, Chinese, and Romans, three superpowers of the ancient world, incorporated makeup in their daily lives, allowing cosmetics to emphasize their ideals and beliefs, their culture, and their connection with the environment. First, let's go way back to 3100 BC, to a little place called Egypt. And this little place wasn't so little. In fact, it was a big deal. Egypt was one of the first great civilizations of the world, and its culture and innovations are rich, diverse, and influential even today. The ancient Egyptians took appearances seriously.
Stones like malachite, galena ore, animal fats, copper, lead, chalk and white lead pigment, Salvador persica tree, iron oxides, herbs, and oils.
Malachite is a green gemstone that was crumbled to be used as eyeshadow. Stones such as malachite and azurite were frequently used in makeup because of their brittle texture, allowing them to be crushed easily. Also, the mineral deposits in Africa made them readily accessible for everyday use. Malachite also had spiritual connections to the goddess of beauty, Hathor, and when applied to the face, one was adorning him or herself with Hathor's essence. Another natural resource the ancient Egyptians used was galena ore, a mineral found near the Nile River. The ancient Egyptians used this mineral to create kohl, a black powdery substance used as eyeliner.
Many historians believe that the tradition of outlining one's eyes originates from ancient Egyptian religious practices.
The Egyptians used large drawings of the Eye of Horus as protection from evil. Outlining one's eyes was a way of carrying this protection with them. Eyeliner not only put an emphasis on alluring looks, but also protected the eyes from environmental threats. Kohl provided a form of sunblock to eyes, similar to the way eye black keeps the sun out of football players' eyes.
Eyeliner also prevented its wearer from catching eye infections commonly caused by the harsh African desert winds and the water from the flooding of the Nile area.
Numerous tools were used for the application and storage of kohl. Nobles stored theirs in small pots and jars, mixed it with animal fats, and applied it with sticks, while poorer classes simply used sticks of compressed kohl. The Egyptians used chalk or white lead pigment to make their faces paler. This was practiced because those with pale faces obtained higher social statuses, since their skin was not darkened from manual or outdoor labor. Chalk and white lead pigment was also used as the base of all other face and body paints. To apply these paints, the Egyptians made makeup brushes of Salvador persica tree, which was also used to make toothbrushes. The ancient Egyptians also used iron oxides to make ochre henna. Ochre henna was used to tint their lips red. To aid makeup application, the Egyptians used thin sheets of highly polished bronze or copper as mirrors. The circular shape, golden hue, and reflective property of the mirror caused Egyptians to associate it with the sun and its god, Ra. Mirrors therefore became a symbol of regeneration and vitality. In the handles of mirrors, certain motifs were used to further emphasize this theme of vitality. Such motifs included the papyrus plant and the head of Hathor, the goddess of fertility and beauty.
In ancient Egypt, there was something called the pharaonic style. So the stylistic characteristics, and therefore the imagery and the motifs and the way figures and faces and people and objects were depicted was all dictated by the pharaoh.
We took the liberty to recreate this makeup style. This is Farah, our model for ancient Egypt. We're going to start by applying some blue and green eyeshadow. Then we're going to line her eyes with black eyeliner. Next, we're going to apply concealer to create a flawless fair complexion. To set the concealer, we're going to apply a translucent face powder. While the powder is setting, we're going to apply bronzer to our cheekbones. After we sweep the excess powder from her face, we're going to apply red lipstick to her lips. Next in the history of cosmetics, we will speak to the Tang Dynasty, a time period in China filled with vibrant art and culture. The practice of drawing one's eyebrows was commonly used during the Chinese dynasties, and brow styles changed between dynasties and emperors. The style of one's brows would also display their social status. Eyebrows were usually painted in greenish blue or bluish black. In the 8th century, palace women used indigo from Persian blue dye. During the 9th century, under influence of Tibetan culture, women painted their eyebrows to depict themselves as mournful or melancholy. Much of Tang Dynasty makeup originated in certain religious practices. For instance, the practice of using lip makeup was originally practiced to please the gods in religious occasions. Later, lip color was used to liven up one's spirit and sometimes could even reveal one's social status. One's lips were seen as the mirrors of one's character and temperament. Lips were painted red, light red, red with golden powder, pink, you get the point. The infamous red lip gloss was abandoned under Tibetan culture influence, and in fashion came the black lip glosses of the high-class women of the 9th century. Another religious-derived cosmetic practice is ihong, or yellow foreheads. During the spread of Buddhism, women were inspired by gilded images of the Buddha. They painted their foreheads yellow, either completely or partially, with a blurred effect. This practice became known as Buddhist makeup, or Fazon. Makeup styles were also influenced by culture, such as art, literature, and ideals of beauty. One example is huading, or designs painted on the forehead. This practice originates from a story from the southern dynasties. A daughter of Emperor Wu of Song was sleeping under a plum tree when a blossom fell on her forehead and stayed there for 3 days, dyeing her skin where it had landed. Then the palace maids imitated the look, and from there it spread to other aristocratic women. Another element of Tang Dynasty makeup is slanting red, a curved red mark resembling a crescent moon, scar, or rolled flower petal that ran from the temple to the cheek. This tradition originated in the Three Kingdoms period, when the Wei Wen Emperor Cao Pai's favorite concubine, Shi Yilei, accidentally cut herself on her way to visit him. The wound healed with a scar, but the emperor loved her regardless, and other concubines and ladies imitated the scar with makeup. Tang Dynasty makeup was also influenced by art's depictions of the human face, with dark eyebrows and pale skin to create a black and white contrast, and a lot of rouge. To achieve fair, pale, and glossy skin, women used both skincare and makeup products. White lead and rice powder was heavily applied to the face. For rouge, minium, vermilion, safflower, or lac insect was applied. Tang Dynasty women used natural ingredients to create face lotions and treatments. For instance, women applied and ate animal or vegetable matter to improve skin. One example of this is applying bat brains to remove blackheads. Powders were also eaten with food to induce fair skin and improve complexion. For face creams, women developed many recipes. One common recipe is to boil apricot pits and pulverize them with skinless sesame seeds that have been fried in their own oil. Then, blend those ingredients with Chinese powdered hemp seeds until the mixture turns creamy white. Artificial ingredients were also used for pale skin. One example is ceruse, a lead-derived pigment used to tint the face and breast white.
As we know, patriarchy often defines a civilization. Ancient Rome is no different. Makeup had a negative connotation because it was seen as a way to achieve perfection, the Roman ideal.
There was a more classical approach to the figure, of course, in ancient Rome, The Romans were copying the Greeks, and the idea of beauty was the perfect human, the beautiful athlete, male or female athlete, the goddess, and perfect figure, perfect face, perfect hair. Individuals were not depicted until much later in the Hellenistic period, when the Romans were doing individual portraits in sculpture. But as far as the cosmetics are concerned, we certainly have imagery from panel paintings, Roman panel paintings and frescoes of women wearing rouge, women wearing eyeliner, and certainly jewelry and other accoutrements and adornments.
Although they were exceptions, scholars such as Ovid and Pliny appreciated the standards of cosmetics as a sign of sophisticated urban living. Ovid's Cosmetics for the Female Face and Pliny's Elder's Natural History record the details of cosmetics, the latter sticking closer to the truth. Based off of these accounts, as well as archaeological finds, the role of makeup in ancient Rome, though originally for ritual purposes, was to beautify a woman and emphasize her class and the ideals of a man.
The very idea that such a patriarchy way exists makes way for other social class systems. For example, the domina of the wealthy household would be attended to in her daily toilette by at least 3 servants, as depicted here in the Numidian relief. One of the servants would hold the iconic Roman silver Roxeter mirror to ensure her mistress's approval.
A wooden and ivory beauty case contained all of her essential products, like creams, perfumes, and oils in glass, clay, or alabaster, as well as her delicate tools, including bone combs, ivory hairpins, tweezers, and small silver brushes. To enhance the face without adding makeup, one may use home remedies such as the ones described by Ovid. Ingredients included honey to enhance the skin's condition, butter for boils, cow placentas for skin ulcers, soda bicarbonate for cuts, lentils for bodily stains, arsenic for hair removal, and elderberry juice for hair dye. One skincare product that the Romans developed was Londinium cream. In 2003, archaeologists found a 2,000-year-old tin container filled with a white creamy substance in a Roman shipwreck. In order to determine the contents of the cream, tests were run on the remnants. Scientists found starch boiled from roots, sheep or cattle, castorite, and a tin dioxide material. When recreated, the end product has an initially oily application, then gives a powder-like finish. The tin may have been used as a safer alternative to white lead pigment. Though lead is safe and even helpful in small amounts, daily exposure to lead can lead to a shortened lifespan, as many experienced. When women did use makeup to enhance their features, they used natural and artificial ingredients. Soot, squid ink, antimony, or toasted ants were used to draw attention to their eyes. Wine for rouge, red lead or red mercuric sulfide to add color to the lips, and hematite powder to add extra pigment and shimmer. Women completed their makeup with the final touch of a beauty mark, essentially a fake mole. The location can give a subliminal message to the intended suitor, which is a quality unique to the ancient Romans.
The research of cosmetics gives insight into what daily life was like throughout history.
The detailed processes illustrate beauty ideals of women, often based on the viewpoint of male historians, that reveals the underlying social structure.
The products and styles used identify the efficiency of trade and cultural diffusion between one civilization to another across seas.
Although there are slight variations between civilizations, makeup consistently plays an integral part in displaying the human ambition to appear perfect, despite inevitable blemishes and mortality.
In a time where the definition of beauty is a social construct, men and women need to understand the history and origins of something as common and relevant as makeup. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good.
Wait, let's do a silly faces one.
I don't know this one. Okay, go.